Hello and welcome fellow girls, guys and gaming fans to another episode of Rising World. This is Small Archangel. If you saw the last episode of our castle build, you will know that we have basically got our ground plan here. We've got our gatehouse, which we built in the last episode, and we've got our bridge there as well. You can see I'm sort of leveling off in the direction of where we're going to build some sort of roadway as well, because a path to a castle just really doesn't sort of cut it somehow. And yeah, I've made the top of our castle sort of keep. Well, this isn't a keep, this is a gatehouse. The keep over there will also have rooftop access via ladders as well, if I've got anything to do with it. Today's project is going to be the walls, so we can see where the walls are going to go round, and we're going to be able to walk on the inside of the walls, so they're going to have defensive capabilities, and at the same time we're going to be able to see out. There's not much in the game to aggro on us really at this point, but nonetheless that's just going to be kind of nice. And if we get some sort of more difficult to deal with enemies around here, that's going to be it's going to be useful. It's going to be nice to sort of test this design out, really. And just to show you as well what I've done since the last episode, I have sort of made some buttresses around the bottom of our towers here. Now the only downside of this is this block here, which I literally cannot get. I would like that to just be a sort of a level diagonal face there, of course, but I can't do it. We just don't have the block shape to fill that in unless I'm being dim and I've missed something. We just can't do it. So that's a downer. But there you go. I've sort of finished those off as well, and then I placed a floor in here as well, because I think I forgot to do that in the last episode. I need to fill this down. So we'll fill this up as well. And then this bit here, probably want to reseed some grass there, but we have got plenty of grass. We've collected tons of the stuff. There we go, and we'll just drink some water from there, because we're going to be busy wall building today. It's going to need a lot of stone. Hopefully I've gathered enough. You can see the height of the walls on the inner side. The inner side, I don't think we're going to have any windows into the courtyard. I might reevaluate that, and I might put windows through on this side also, just from a point of view of being able to see through. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. But our walls, basically, we're going to be using these large, what looks like large stone blocks, although they look a little bit like sort of floor tiles as well. I don't know. It's the nearest we've got at the moment. We're going to use this kind of stone, and we're just going to go around, and we're going to make these towers here as well. I just need to bear in mind that our floor level is this. So a couple levels up from the actual ground. Our courtyard here is going to be ground level like this, so I've put some steps going down, which would be a bit rough if you had a horse and cart. I guess we don't have to worry about such things at this point in the game, of course. So at this point, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that either. Plus, I like the idea of having some steps going up into our castle as well, because that's so often the case in castles. Okay, so our gatehouse is a modest kind of size, and we're going to have walls that we can walk along the top of from inside our gatehouse as well via these doors here. We're going to be able to go all the way through the gatehouse and out along the walls, and all the way possibly from onto the top of our keep as well. That would kind of make sense, I think. So all the way around, but the top of the keep is probably going to be higher than that of the gatehouse, so I'm not sure about that one at this point. We might just have doors going into the keep itself. Okay, so this is probably going to take several in-game days to build. I do have some blocks left over here, but not many. We've got all our stone and ores and things in here, and also spare blocks, so actually I'll just amalgamate those stacks there in case we need them. I don't know that we'll need those shaped blocks, but I've got some flooring ones there as well. And then in this one here, so I've actually moved that chest also. And then this one here, we've got our wooden lumber, and then we've got all the sort of, it's more organic, this one. So we've got a ton of grass, and some seeds and things that I've been collecting so that we can set our farm going, but I haven't quite decided where that's going to be. I'd quite like it to be inside the walls, but yeah, first and foremost, building the walls, paramount importance really. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got a bit of stone on me now, so mostly of course we're going to need just the normal square blocks. So we'll make as many of those as we can. Actually, what we're probably going to need, let me just get that down to what we can make. Yeah, we're going to need some diagonal ones as well, but we've actually got some of those, I think. Here we go, look, we've got more than a stack of those as it is, so that's cool. So we'll take some of these as well as just the square ones. And I'm just going to start out, obviously we're going to be doing a bit of sort of speed editing here and things, because otherwise, yeah, the video would be a million years long. But what I want to establish first, really, is we can't do vertical, can we? So we're going to have to do it sort of like this. What I want to establish first is the height of our walls, but also, there we go, so about the same height as what we've got above there, I think. Yes, that's right. The height of our walls, but also the pattern of our walls. So we've got a tower there, and we're perhaps going to have to sort of think about towers. Yeah, I can't really reach from there. We're going to have to think about the towers sort of as a separate thing. There we go. And I don't want our walls to be completely and utterly flat. And I do want them to have some windows as well. And they'll be at the same height as this, so we can, in point of fact, go, whoops, all the way to there. Come on. There we go. We're going to have some windows, but probably, how regular they're going to be, I haven't quite decided. How many blocks we got to play with here anyway? That's about 13 blocks there. We've got 12 blocks there in this stretch of wall. And of course, we'll make the one on the opposite side of the gatehouse exactly the same. So we've got some nice symmetry going on there as well, which symmetry is good. I like symmetry. Okay, I think we'll have our first window here. And we'll make it as high as this one, which means we need that to be, let's see, what is it? 3 blocks? 1, 2, 3, yeah. 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go. And then they're just going to be sort of arrow slot kind of. There we go. We've run out already. Going to get through a lot of these. Yeah, and that's as near to an arrow slot as we can actually get at this stage in the game. Yeah, so, and then we'll have, let's see, how many of these can we actually fit if we think about it? We can fit, if we make sort of 3 blocks from this side, we can put another one there. And then we probably want them to be at least 3 or 4 blocks apart from each other. Yeah, and that doesn't quite work out, does it? So what I might do, actually, we might have one there, and then I might just place this one more like here. Because then we've got the tower here anyway, which I don't know whether to put. I'd like to put a window in the tower, but I quite like to put a window on this side, and I'm not sure if that's even going to be possible, but we're certainly going to try it. And I might do something with these windows to make them look a little bit less square as well. See, what I'd really like to do, I'd like to use some of these, you know, to sort of make them look a bit more arrow slot like. So putting one in like that, for example, but I don't want them to be too high or low up, so I'll have to have a bit of a think about that one. Let's just try that. If we put that there, and I'm gonna have to go all the way around now. I'm gonna have to be careful not to make some sort of exclusion zone and not allow myself into my own castle. And if I do the same thing here, and we can see, is that gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be about the right kind of height actually. I like that. Let's do that in all our windows. There we go. And if we do the same thing at the top, it'll make it too small. But it won't if we take this bit out. And then if we do the same thing at the top there, but we're going to have to... No, this way. There we go. Like that. Now, what does that look like? Let's just have a squiz from the outside. That's a little bit more like it, actually. I mean, we could, on a larger windows, what we'll do is we'll use the slanted ones on the outside as well. And then, but on... this, no, not that orientation, this kind of orientation like that. So that, and then we might even attempt something vaguely looking like mullions, but again, all the blocks, we need sort of half blocks and things for that to work properly, really. But yeah, so we'll evolve this kind of as we go. So I'll just change this window out now to match. Okay, now we've kind of finished this side of the front wall, mostly with our windows and what have you. What I want to do is I want to make some buttresses against the wall like these ones here. So I'm going to have to sort of, it doesn't matter if they look slightly different on the outside, but they're 2 blocks wide. And then we've got the diagonal blocks, so they go in a couple of steps, and I want to replicate that here, really. Perhaps in between the windows, in which case it's probably going to have to be, oh no, we've got 2 blocks in between that one and that one. Okay, cool. So perhaps if we do that and make it about that kind of height. Now, in reality, of course, perhaps this sort of makes it a bit easier for people to climb up them. But yeah, thankfully this isn't reality. I quite like it actually if they're a bit more on a level with the window. Sort of looks like it knits in together better, so we'll do them like that. Oh, except that they need to go higher than that. Oh, that's where our first step will be. Okay, so our buttress is basically going to go up there like that, and it might even go higher up the wall than that. I might, if I can reach, which I'm not sure I can. Yeah, I can almost jump up there, but not quite. So if there were such a thing as PvP, I don't think it would actually help people to breach your walls particularly. So just about reach that. There we go. Fit that on the top. There, yes, there we go. And one on the other side. There. So that is going to be our buttresses. And they're pretty major looking. Does that look alright? Or do we just... No, we have to make them 2 blocks wide, really. Because if we don't, then we're going to end up... Yeah, we're going to end up with them being a bit... well... asymmetrical. And I'm going to avoid asymmetry if I can. I think the only reason that some castles are asymmetric is because the landscape dictated it. Generally speaking, people always seem to go for symmetry where it's possible. There we have it, and a couple of buttresses there. So we're going to have buttressed walls kind of all the way around, and I might still rethink that and have those buttresses go a tad higher than that as well. But that's basically what our walls are going to look like all the way around. So yeah, that's going to be our design. So what should I do? Should I do the walls first? And yeah, I should do the walls first, and then we'll worry about the towers as a separate concern after that. So I'm going to do the outer walls. The inner walls are going to be fairly straightforward. They're just going to be absolutely sort of bog standard flat the whole sort of way. So I guess I can kind of do that. As I say, we might knock holes through these later on, but we might not. Okay, so we have our front wall, basically with its windows, so it's quite difficult to sort of make it out at the moment. I may or may not know. I won't be putting any window frames in those windows because that wouldn't look right, I don't think. But we're obviously going to need some lighting around the place as well. That's going to have to wait for the moment because we're going to need some sort of wall sconces and what have you. And for that we're going to need our smithy. So it's just going to be an empty structure to begin with. So that's our front walls. Now the rear wall here is probably the longest, or is it the side ones? But basically we're going to follow the same pattern as we're doing the side walls here, with a buttress a window and a buttress sort of every few blocks kind of thing. Although I might space them out a little bit more on the sides because the side walls are larger. But that's basically what we're going to do now. So hopefully I've got lots of stone. Hopefully I've got enough stone. We'll go into our favourites. We want this, and we're gonna need lots of that. And I've also got those. I'll put those together, but we're probably going to need to make some more of those at some point as well. And the inside's just a curtain wall, which I may or may not worry about right at this moment. But we're going to start on this side, and we'll start here. And this is where the old speed editing is going to come into its own, I think. And there's our side wall. And we just need to make sure that the one on the opposite side is kind of identical to that. Now, I haven't got it absolutely symmetrical here. I think probably what I ought to do is put a buttress in the middle here and take this one out. I don't know if I really want a buttress every single time I have a window. I think perhaps it would be better if we had, on the longer walls, a buttress per 2 windows. So perhaps one there and then 2 windows, and one there and then 2 windows, and I'm not sure if that would work out symmetrical though, so I might have to rethink the placing of the buttresses there. We might be better off with them sort of here instead of where they are now, or I'm not sure. That needs some looking at perhaps, but what I'm going to do now is place the wall on the opposite side as well, and the one on the end, and yeah, I'm going to do that sort of off camera because otherwise we'll be here all day, and I have to pick up my scaffolding, and I just have to make sure I've got enough blocks for when I go up the scaffold, because if I haven't, I end up having to come down too soon and then I can't get back up again. I could stack scaffolds, but I'd rather avoid that if I don't actually have to. Yeah, I shall see with the opposite side if there's a way of placing these buttresses kind of yeah, in a more symmetrical and even fashion, because I've got 2 right next to each other here, which perhaps isn't ideal. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've now got walls of, I think, the appropriate height on every elevation, with gaps in the corners, but to be honest, I found it prudent to leave those gaps just so that I can actually sort of navigate the space to be able to make the walls on the outside anyway, so it's quite useful at this point to not have built the towers. And I'm kind of almost finished. I've done the inside walls, which are just blank at the moment. I might rethink that later, but for the moment they're just blank. And then we've just got this back wall here to do. Where's our tower? There it is. So we're just going to do that now to finish. And I will show you what we've done. There we go. We'll show you what we've done with the side walls here. I've actually finally, I think I can get far enough over here to show. We've actually got 3 buttresses now, 1 in the middle, 1 either side, and I've managed to get the windows all kind of quite, it looks like it hasn't got any windows from here because you sort of can see the blank wall on the inside. So what I might do is I might end up putting a window in sort of on the inside so that the windows kind of sort of look all the way through, because yeah, that might be better, but as I say, gonna leave that for the time being. We're gonna have our doorways into the tower, I think, pretty much where I've got this one here. So that looks quite sort of not into the towers, because we haven't really got space for a doorway into the tower. They're not all that big really, and I might do something to expand that a little bit, but the doorways are going to be sort of pretty much where I've got this one here. That is to say, 1 there and then 1 sort of opposite there, kind of near our smithy, 1 over there, and actually what we might have is a doorway here and a doorway here. So yes, I've actually got this sort of blanked off, which means I'm going to need to take these blocks out, but I quite like the idea of having the doors here at the end of this kind of little walkway here, so that sort of makes sense. But I'm not going to need to take all these out, of course. We're just going to need it to be 4 blocks high, and we're not going to put the doors in right now anyway. There we go. And I'll probably need to take out these blocks as well. I don't know, haven't decided yet, but our task really to finish this job now, finish this episode now, is probably going to be, or is definitely going to be, to finish this wall here in the same style as the others. I'm not quite sure how big it is. I need some more blocks. We're going to have to make some more blocks, and we're also going to probably have to place our scaffold. So I might just place the scaffold now. I think it is go the other way around, doesn't it? There we go. Even though we don't need it just yet, we will need it shortly. And then we've got a second one, which I think we can put on top, though it tends to be a bit of a pain. There we go, and then hopefully we can reach the top of our wall. That's what I've been using for the others, and then we're going to make a load more. It's starting to look a bit more castle-y now. Make a load more stone blocks. Where's our favourites? There. Max. There we go. So I've got a load more of those now. And I need to know roughly how long this is to be able to work out, because here what we've actually got 5 blocks at the end with no windows. And then we've got 6 blocks between each window. So if I do this, hopefully it'll let me. And we'll be able to count. Yeah, come on. Don't need it to place them. Just need to count the length. 45. Right, okay. That's 45. And I can't remember if the side walls are the same length. Let's just see. Yeah, I know I can't place stuff through stuff. That's fine. I'm just counting here. 46. Well, that's annoying. So we're going to actually have one spare block somewhere along there. But that suggests, yeah. Okay, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to go about that. But first of all, we need to fill in, I think, one more layer. Go on. There we are. And then after that, we'll just have to work out how we're going to... We need these to be... Yeah, that's fine. We need these to be a sort of even number of blocks either side. So I think we will just put 5 blocks there maybe, or... Yeah, something like that. And then we'll try the same from the opposite side. If I can get up there. There we are. 5, 6. There we go. And we'll try this. So we've got one there. And one there. And we've run out of blocks. There. Yeah, we'd have one with sort of 5 blocks instead of 6, but are we that OCD? I don't think I'm that OCD, and I don't think with a single block there's anything really we can do to change that. So, how many? We've got 1, 2, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections of wall. So actually, what we could do is 1, 2, 3. This is the middle section of wall. If we made this one, the one that was 5 blocks, like that, it might actually be a little bit more symmetrical, I think, unless this one's now about 20 blocks. Yeah, I did that wrong way around, didn't I? Okay, let's try that again. We need to take it from this side, maybe. Oh, except that that is then going to be too long. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. Okay, so this one is now 2 blocks long, isn't it? Yeah, and it's 13. Maybe we should just not put any windows there at all. I don't know. But this is going to bug me to death otherwise. Okay, so we've got 6 there, and then... So we've got 1, 2, 3. This is the one that wants to be 5 blocks. So I'm going to chalk out this one. There we go. And then that's 5. And then this one here needs to be 6. And currently it's 7. So I need to take out this one here. And then do that. And then I'm going to need to take out the last one here as well and just move it along, I think, except that then that is 6 and it needs to be 5. So that is kind of annoying. Whatever way I do it, I'm pretty much knackered there. I don't think I'm going to really be able to do anything about it. So forget it. Don't care at this point. Just hop onto the walls and we'll do our thing. we go. Okay, so the middle kind of looks like maybe it could do with a door, and actually that might not be a bad plan, except that it would have to be 3 blocks wide. It would have to be more like a gateway, and there aren't really any door type things we can put in there, because yeah, it could be a back door, couldn't it be, like a little postern gate or something, a little sally port, or you know, somewhere to escape from. But yeah, we don't have any gates that big, I don't think. So, and the only gate we're going to have on the front is a trap door. As I say, I'd really like to put a portcullis in there as well. Not a trap door, I keep calling it a trap door. Drawbridge. But we could do with a portcullis as well. I'd like to have a portcullis here, but yeah, unless the devs give us one of those, we're kind of out of luck on that at the moment, certainly. So we're far from finished, but we do have some walls, and we do have a bit more of an idea of how this is taking shape. We have run out of time, and more to the point, we've run out of stone. So in the next episode, I haven't done those windows, have I? In the next episode, what we're going to be doing, I think, we're going to be... Oh, is that right? Yeah, I think so. In the next episode, we're going to be concentrating on making our towers, I think. We're going to be putting the towers in place, and then hopefully we'll be able to build the roof, aka the walkway, on the top of these walls as well. And then, yeah, we'll be able to sort of walk around on top of the walls, which look pretty groovy. And that way we're going to be able to sort of finish off the exterior walls as well. But the towers are going to be just a little bit fiddly. So I think between now and the next episode, what I'll do is I will do a bit of an experimental build on one of the towers just to see what happens. Because I think at the moment they're built on a pretty small footprint. But they are for show, really. I'm not planning on them being any kind of, you know, particularly usable chamber or anything like that. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. So we'll just finish these windows off here, and they need to be just like the others, that way around. And then we're going to call this an episode, folks, because it's going to be quite a long edit as it is. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope that you help. I did take out some of the ground there, so that it's a little bit more of a drawbridge, and we've actually got, you know, a drop zone to make it a bit more secure, because at the moment I can run across, and that's quite deliberate. I need to be able to, because it's a bit difficult to get out on the other side, which is also quite deliberate. So next episode, let's just go to our vantage point so we can see our handiwork. The next episode, we're going to be finishing our walls by dint of towers. We're going to be putting some towers in there, and then maybe we'll be doing our walkways after that, so that we can actually get from tower to tower and walk all the way around our castle, right on the top of the walls there. And then it's going to be the outbuildings, and then last but not least the keep. And the keep in itself is going to be a project, because it's going to be our housing accommodation, it's going to need furnishing and all that good stuff. So I do hope you'll join me for subsequent episodes of the castle build. I hope you like how it's going so far. If you did enjoy this episode, you know what to do. Let me know. Hit the like button. If you've got any suggestions, then they're welcome as well. I'm sort of feeling my way here a little bit with the blocks we have available. And I do hope to see you in the next video. Till then, keep gaming, keep surviving, stay happy. Bye bye for now.